boys, so this is the next round of my team career. So I suppose now we're going into the British Grand Prix now, and essentially it's going to be a situation where hopefully we can get a good round this time, and hopefully my new teammate can do really well and can qualify in the top 10, because we are essentially in the top, we are first in the chart. So if we're not managing top 10 every practice and quali, then that's not good. You know what? I think for a change I'm going to go on a different tyre on the softs just to see how they do tend to perform. Is Verstappen's dominance going to stay, or am I going to, or is people going to drop slightly quicker laps than him? Not many people have got out on track so far. So I'm obviously going out for a lap here, so it's actually starting to rain, which isn't good. So I've actually essentially put the wrong tyre on, but I'm just going to have to see what I can do. That's unusual to go that wide, so that's clear evidence that the track's not, that I don't have the correct tyre. Or could I chuck it in the top 3 straight away? We're going to find out once I've done my lap. But I've gone very wide considering I braked to my normal point. So I think that's evidence that actually this is a wrong tyre. It's a very quiet session here, so I've got no traffic to impede me. Just myself doing my lap. I don't think Hamilton decided to go out, you know. So that's just a very sad thing, you know. Hamilton could have done a lap. He maybe could have tried to get a good lap, but he just decided not to go into the pits for some reason. Now that seems very weird. I remember the pit lane speed limit being 50 and I went 42, which is slower than 50, and it decided not to, so I'm going to have a look at the times to see, you know. I've got a relatively slow time here, so I feel like it is definitely because of the rain. And there was only 6 drivers that went out on the laps, so that's proof not many people are doing it for some reason. Maybe because it was a wet, maybe people wanted to save their tyres and save damaging the car, you know, because going in a wet could be a difficult thing to do straight away when it's going to be a very cold track. Is Hamilton going to go on track? Can I set the laps I need? Let's find out. My teammate's still out on track right now, so hopefully he can improve by a few tenths. It's not always good to see someone right in front of me. Hopefully he doesn't become too much of a hazard when I'm on my lap. I've obviously got a very decent lap here, but unfortunately the game decided just to invalidate it, and it's a bit painful, you know. I'm trying to get a good time, but the game decides to just invalidate my time. It's annoying, but unfortunately it happens. 1:31.7 there. I had to go for a dive on Magnussen or that Haas. He was really impeding me. I really wish he let me through, but in the end, he didn't allow me through, so I had to get a move done somehow. I'm about to improve on my invalid time anyway, so as long as I can keep the improvements up, I'll be happy. I've set an absolute insane lap. I don't even know how much faster I've gone, but one thing's for sure, I'm pretty happy with that lap. Plus 3 seconds, oh my god, what a lap. Hopefully Hamilton can qualify decent and get a good result, because I really want it for him, you know. I really do. I want it for him, man. I do. And this is one shot quali now, so I'm just going to finish high. I just have to. Obviously through here, it's going to be very close. Unfortunately, my teammate is only P9. I really want more for him. I really do. I really wish Hamilton was farther up. I really do. You know. And it looks like I'm going to have a decent gap to P2 here. It looks like. I think that's Verstappen. Yeah, it is. Verstappen is just... I just hope Verstappen DNFs. I know I'm giving him a bit of hate here, but I just do wish he DNFs. I really do. I don't like Verstappen. The way he is, the way he treats people. I just, you know. And in general, I hate Red Bull for treating him the way he does. Red Bull treats him like the king, really. They don't care about anyone else. They expect someone to get up to a World Championships car type straight away. You know, they don't give them time, you know. If for 1 year they change the driving style, something like if you'll shoot both drivers, they might actually have their second driver doing well. They might actually have that, you know. But the thing with it is, it's just not going to happen, because they always make it an aggressive car. I said I wanted more from him, and that's what happened. I'm happy Hamilton's qualified a few positions higher than he was so at one point in quali. So I just it is P7. It's not the best, but I'm sure he can do better in the race. I'm sure he can make some places up. So I'm hoping he does. not just for him but for the team as well. You get the good position and then just drive away into the distance. Or hopefully, if it plays out, I can drop a few positions, help Lewis get a gap to basically help him attack. I'm gonna go for the aggressive strategy here. Ideally, I need it to be like that. I'm going to try and play a little game where I slow them down a bit. I'm going to allow Hamilton to attack. I want to try and give him a little boost to give him that advantage. Trying to help Hamilton up into a good position here. I don't think Hamilton's going to be able to finish any higher than P6 at this current moment in time. I really don't think he is. He's just not seeming to put him on you know, I know what BA is like. They don't go for any moves. They really don't. They just stick on the race line and wait for a move to happen like that. And it's a bit annoying. I wish there was a way I could tell him to be a bit more aggressive. But there's not. So, because it's not a manager game, you see. In the manager games, you can choose their driving style. You maybe if they've got a 20-second lead, you can maybe go onto their thing and tell them to drive less aggressive and conserve their tyres for a few laps until they catch her back up a lot. I'm just kind of waiting for mistakes to happen in front of him so Hamilton can just go on through, but it doesn't seem to be happening right now. Come on, Hamilton. It's your home Grand Prix. You need to get a victory. You can't let Verstappen take that title from you, man. You can't. I really feel like you should be going a bit more aggressive considering it's his home Grand Prix, but in real life, just because it's a home Grand Prix, you're not going to get away with ramming people off road, you know? You've got to keep it clean no matter the situation, you know? If you're under pressure and someone's on your inside, you've got to leave them. Just because it's a home Grand Prix, they're not going to allow you. You know, they might be a bit softer on you depending on the situation, but depending how much pressure that you are under, you know, they've got to make a fair decision because everyone makes mistakes, you know. I'm going to try and just get a gap to the McLaren Sainz. You know, they're all on the softs at this point, so I'm going to be able to go a lap or two more than them, I feel like. But ideally, they're going to want to push a soft stint as much as they can, but they don't want to do it, so they're losing time. But if I feel like I'm losing too much time to someone, considering even though I've got a little bit of damage on my wing, I'm going to obviously want to, you know, pit before I lose too much time. No one's pit yet, so the gap to P9 is quite big, and then there's a little bit of gap to P10 as well. So it's a relatively spread out race, I would say, so far. But there's quite a massive gap actually. It's about 10-second gap. Maybe not that much, but you know, you get the gist of what I'm trying to say. If I'm on the mediums and I've got lap 7, they're probably going to be pitting this lap. Or next lap, depending on the tyre wear. Hamilton had a chance there, but he couldn't get it done. Go on, Hamilton. I know you can do it, mate. I know you've got it in you. I know you've got the talent in you to do it. You just need to show me, mate. You just need to show me the talent. The wing damage is making me lose that time. I'm just going to make sure I've definitely got the soft tyres. Yeah, I had a feeling he was going to pit, so I'm going to have to pit next lap. Hamilton does come out ahead of him, which is with Norris, which is good. No, Norris ended up ahead. Norris is a few seconds down on Verstappen here. And my teammate's P6, the position he was. But he's got quite a few cars on him, so he's going to be under a bit of pressure here. I'm going to try and go a bit like faster into the pits just because taking a piss. It was on auto and it didn't repair my fucking damage. What is this? This is taking a piss. This is taking me absolute piss. Considering I start at P1, I would like to finish P1 because I hate, even finishing, if I get P1 ahead of Verstappen, that is 7 more points, 7 less points he's going to get essentially than me, so, you know. Can you get run on Verstappen going into cops? No, I can't. Can you get the run go? I think Mrs. Maggots suspected, so I'm not quite sure. Please correct me in the comment section if I am wrong. Even though this is my home Grand Prix, you would think I would know this circuit off by heart, but I really don't. I know a few of the corners, like cops, just we I was just on about. And then the infamous chicane. I don't know what the chicane's called, but I know it's a chicane. And I know Lewis did a double overtake on there a few years ago. I can't remember what year it was, but yeah. I think it was 2022, I believe. Because I think I saw like online a thing of when Lewis won. And in 2023 and 24 he obviously didn't win. And he didn't in 2025 either. So, yeah. So a little bit of contact with Verstappen, but that was just me trying to get a move done, mate. It is nothing bad. I don't think he's going to be able to do a move there because he would have to have a proper run if he was going to get a move done there. Through these hairpins or not hairpinny like turns, it's kind of more of a downforce section, and you can really chuck some speed into it if you get the run, I would say. So I'm hoping Hamilton can get that P4 to at least finish in the top 4. Like, I feel like in this situation we should be finishing top 5 every race. I do feel like it. So, my old teammate might have outscored me in points, but I'm hoping I can finish close to Lewis by the end of the season. By the end of season 1. So, yeah. Yes, Hamilton, mate. Hamilton is only going to be able to get P4. I doubt he's going to make up 6 seconds or something crazy like that in one and a half laps, mate. If he does, I'll be happy, but I refuse to believe he's going to do it. I don't think anyone's going to. The only person that would realistically do it is Verstappen, knowing him. But to be honest, it's like, I don't believe you do that either, because it's hard to do. You know, like, people are going to have to properly fight if someone's going to do that. I just don't think my middle sector and last sector is good enough to get the fastest lap. I'm going to need some luck if I'm going to get it. But as close, look, as you can see, but I'm going to have to go a few milliseconds fast. Maybe like 30 milliseconds faster on each sector if I'm going to do it. I don't get the run through there. It's just going to be a very bad run. I think I'm going to use the final little sector bit as like a cooldown thing. I think I'm actually going to use this as a cooldown lap. Just because I know I'm going to do it. I'm going to pick up some speed here so he doesn't get too much on me. When I'm going to lift off quite a bit here. He might think he's going to get me, but I'm going to ensure he doesn't get me. He's right here. He's right here. Now I'm just going to push. Verstappen shouldn't get. I bet you the game Verstappen fans are vote. You know, there's so many Verstappen fans. I feel like Verstappen should not be on the driver of the day list purely because of that. You know, it's not fair otherwise. It really isn't. You know, so Verstappen fans can't vote for him. Or they make the code so that you actually have to put why you vote Verstappen. Purely for the fact that Verstappen fans will vote for him. Purely because he's Max and not because they think he deserves it. You know, so obviously looking at the standings here, I'm probably still in 4th place, and if we are in 3rd, I'll be very happy. But I doubt we are. Yeah. Oh, we are in 3rd. We've just done it. So, yeah, I think they've had a slightly poor performance there. So, I think that's why. You know, as you can see, in Austria, right, the Ferraris had P5 and 7. and then, yeah. Obviously 50k isn't much to pay, so that's why I've done it. If it was more like 2 million, I might really think carefully about it, because, you know, going from 19.2 mil to 17.2 mil is a big decision to make for some merch. It really is. So, you know, the contract, he will expire in 154 days, which is a decent one, you know. Driver market, obviously, now he's my teammate, I'm going to start watching him. And then I think the next man I'm going to watch is probably Norris. Or no, actually, Verstappen I might watch, actually. So, yes, I'm going to sort, and then I'm going to compare. Hamilton is all better than him, and they've got the same focus. So I feel like, for now, I'm going to keep Hamilton, obviously, but, and then, yeah, buyout for Verstappen is 4.5 mil, and Lewis doesn't have a buyout, just a base. So I feel like if I want to buy Verstappen out, that would be a price, you know. And obviously I've got 3.2k, so I'm going to go ahead and try and invest in some power now, just to ensure we stay ahead of a power. We are relatively ahead, which is kind of weird, but because I don't think we should be this far ahead, I'm going to be honest, considering the factors. I've got the tiniest bit of wing damage and they gap me like crazy. So I feel like I'm going to have to review the settings in this. Settings, career settings. And then AI. I'm going to go ahead and increase all the AI to increase, just to see how things. I'm going to make this even spicier and do that. So I'm going to make sure it's definitely on. Yeah. And then I'm going to check the difficulty just because I want to know. I think I'm going to give it a slight boost to 55 as well. So essentially now, you're going to see me for the next round now. After this video, I'm going to end the video here. I've done a big one yesterday. So, yeah. Crap, I've actually just started it now. Oh god. This is a bit of a problem. So I'm going to go ahead and just quit the main menu. Yeah. Peace out and bye.